Right guys, today people have been questioning, and this wasn't just today, why my bike seat is so high on a BMX, and that's because I like to be comfortable whilst riding. So today, me, Kai, Jules Crowson, is going to teach you, whoever doesn't know, maybe I'm that bit. I'm going to teach you how to adjust your seat. So what you're going to need for this is what I like to use, an adjustable spanner, so you can actually adjust your seat. So we'll get that out. And then I also like to use one of these Allen keys. So let me pop a 5mm Allen key for this. So you can see pretty clearly on mine, 5mm. And you've got to read the actual thing as well and make sure it's actually a 5mm and not been put in the wrong place. Now, I look after my tools and equipment, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 5mm. But maybe for your bike, it's not going to be a 5mm. Maybe it's going to be slightly bigger, slightly smaller. But these are the two main things that you're going to need. So you're going to need an adjustable spanner, or I want to say a 15mm ratchet and socket. So then you've also got your Allen key. Right, so I can't explain in full detail what Allen key you need, because obviously I probably got a different bike make, like my seat's probably bigger, or the frame's probably small. Like, yeah, this is a 20-inch frame, so the frame's obviously going to be smaller. In fact, I don't know if this is 20 or 22. But what we're going to do, there's a little hole. Maybe you guys don't have this. Maybe you're going to have like a little pull thing. So if you have the pull thing, which is generally on mountain bikes, you just pull and then you can adjust your seat. But on most bikes now, you have something called an Allen key. And then it just slots nicely in there. See, if it has too much play, that means it's too big. That means it's too small. But if it has if it's tight, that means it's good. But if it's really hard to get in, then you haven't got the right size. So you're just going to pull. And guys, a little tip, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. It's always the solution. Right, and if it's still not going down, you just got to untighten it a little bit more. And I shall tell you when. So, until this moves, and you don't want to move it because you want to keep it straight, but you see, you don't take the entire bolt out, you just loosen it. So then I can now lower my seat, and it's going to be pretty hard if you've never actually lowered your seat. It's either that or the case that you need to undo your bolt just a little bit more. So you're going to get your Allen key again. You're going to loosen it just the tiniest bit, just to give you a bit more room. And then you're going to put some pressure on it. You're going to put some pressure. And then you're going to bang, bang, bang. See, with my seat, I want it to be quite low, because obviously it's a BMX bike. So, for me, about there will do. And you always got to make sure, because this may mess up your riding day, you've got to make sure your seat is straight. And then what you do, you obviously get your Allen key back up. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And you always got to make sure that thing's straight. Now, it doesn't matter if it isn't, but you just want it to look nice. So, you just... See, with Allen keys, they do have a little place sometimes. It sometimes doesn't mean it's too small. If it does the job, it works. So, you're wanting to then nip it up that tiny bit. Oh God, that's not even that tight. Right, so you've got to actually get your hands in there tight. Because what can happen is when you sit on your seat, it will lower down if it's not tight. So you just gotta make sure it's tight. See, you don't want it too tight, because it will round off it will snap the threads basically. So you always don't want it too tight around this time. And then you're done with your Allen key now. You can chuck it away. So then I'm going to have to stand my phone up for this. Loosen it to the max. You loosen it, not tighten it. You got to loosen it. See, mine loosens down to an 11, okay? So then sometimes it can have a little bit of annoy. It can play sometimes. It can sometimes be pretty annoying. But when you get it on there, it's all good. But right, so for sometimes you are gonna need a different tool. And a different tool, I mean, I'm stupid with this, guys. I'm English, yes. I don't know whether it's called a spanner or a wrench. So this is an adjustable spanner, so it must be called a wrench, but I'm not too sure. But I'm gonna go get that real quick. This job, I'm not too sure because I'm not a fully man-made bike fixer. But for this job, well, I was incorrect. See, this bike is a 13, so generally when you look at a bolt, you start getting used to knowing what size it is. So off the top of my head, I thought this was going to be a 14, but you see it has a little bit of play on it. So, you know, if that's too big, you need to go lower. So, you need to go... Don't have a 13. 12 is too small. This was the 15 I just brought out. But fortunately, there's a 14 on the other side. So now... But sometimes the seats can be really annoying. So it's just when you've got to, you know, like play around with it a little bit. Right, this can get annoying. But, I think, right, I think just by that little loosen, just double check, stand your bike up straight. I now, see, it may look like I've just, you're putting in, when you put the Allen key in, you're putting this little bar here, right? And there's a little sort of bolt that puts your seat on the bar. And people don't generally use that, but for BMXers, you want your bike tilted, you want your seat tilted, but not that tilted to the point where it just looks stupid to ride, because you're going to be leaning like that and looking like you're doing wheelies. But no, you just want it about like that. See, I like that a lot. And you also, again, got to make sure it's straight. See, I'm kind of liking that. Yeah, good height. Yeah. So then, what you can do... Right, this is the 14. Right, I don't know if I'm actually doing this the right way. But I'm going right. Okay, why is that loosened more? See, I'm going to the right. Maybe it doesn't matter on what your seat shape is. Maybe it more matters on... Right, I want that bit... Yes, perfect. Right, and you got, again, you always got to make sure your bolts are tight. Now, I don't mean tighten it up to the maximum, but I mean tighten it up to the right specifications. So now look, if you see, I've got a nice BMX seat. It fits me perfectly. Yeah, I'm pretty small. But generally on BMXs, they're not for wheeling or anything like that. Why does that still play? Oh. I don't even think that's actually tied. Or unless I didn't actually... I've still got play. Maybe try from the other side. See, now apparently that's too big. But look, see how there's still that little bit of play on there? So when I sit down... See, generally it doesn't really matter. But if you're on a BMX and you ride it, and your seat just, like, say if I move forward to reach my handle or lean forward to reach my brakes, you're just going to end up going down. But when you want to, and it's not too bad that it's noticeable, but say I want to lean back again, but then watch the seat. See how it's going back up? Then watch it again. Ah, well, that's weird. Well, that was quite a long video for some reason, because you was mainly watching me do the bolt. I want to entertain you and teach you at the same time, because I don't want you just listening to my boring voice for 10-20 minutes about how to do a bike seat, which you probably all generally know. But I just want to explain to those, because out of the 8 billion, 9 billion people in the world, there must be someone, maybe even older than me, that does not know how to work a bike seat. And now, I've given you entertainment, so you actually want to sit back, get your popcorn and watch the video. And also, whilst you're watching it, it's teaching you something. What I've just taught you is how to lower your seat and adjust your seat. Thank you for watching. I shall see you in the next top. Right, ready? Right, about there. Ah, shit. bleeding. I'm bleeding. Oh. Ow. I'm bleeding. Shit.